Hi, this is Alessio Rastani of Leading Trader. Hope you're well. In this video, I want to bring to your attention something that actually might be of good news to all Bitcoin investors and traders, and actually to all crypto investors and traders in general. Before I do that though, and I want to show you some important charts in a few moments, I want to just quickly bring something to your attention, which is very important, because when I saw this yesterday, I thought, you know what, enough is enough. I have to talk about this. So let me just quickly mention this before I talk about Bitcoin. It appears there's someone out there who is trying to impersonate me on YouTube. And this person, who is obviously a sick individual, he is going on the YouTube comment section and he's essentially posting comments to people, to you essentially, on YouTube, and asking you to email him directly. As you can see, here's an example from yesterday. And when I saw this, I thought I was quite shocked because I did not post that. This is the comment that I posted myself, as you can see yesterday, essentially just saying thank you to the comment. But this comment here, which looks like it's from me, but actually it's not, and I'm going to show you can find out it's not me. This is obviously from someone who is impersonating me and is doing it for some very sick and selfish reasons. So guys, if ever you see a comment that appears to be from me, but if the comment says anything like this, asking you to email them on some Gmail or whatever, Yahoo or Hotmail address, remember, that is not me. I don't know anyone in their right mind who actually posts their personal email address on YouTube. All right, so that's obviously not me. Secondly, we don't use any sort of Gmail, Hotmail, or whatever those kind of email addresses. All our emails to our subscribers end with @leadingtrader.com. So that's another way you can know. And thirdly, when you right click on the user who's trying to impersonate me and again asking you to email him, here's what I found. I found that this person again, has 0 subscribers. So that's obviously not a real account. It's someone who's just quickly opened an account trying to impersonate me. And just to let you know, our own real YouTube channel has about 98,000 subscribers. So that's how you can know. This is the real one. And the other one I just showed you, this is the fake one. So guys, here is what I would like you to do. And again, I'm asking you to do this as a favor, not just for me, but also for the benefit of your fellow human beings out there who might believe that that is a real email address and a real comment from me. Okay, so what you need to do is go to this section here, which has a flag next to the subscribe button. And again, remember, that's only if you see very few subscribers or 0 subscribers on the account. That is definitely not me. So click on the flag and then click Report User. And on the next section in the list, please choose Impersonation. And then on the next section, please click and select this channel is impersonating a YouTube channel that I follow or I'm familiar with. So guys, I really would appreciate that if you see any kind of suspicious comments that are clearly not from me, especially if he's asking you to email them like this, or if there's some kind of offensive, very rude comment that is clearly, again, not from me. All right, guys, let's talk about Bitcoin. And in this video, what I'm about to share with you might actually be some great news for Bitcoin investors and traders, especially for those of you who are looking to perhaps hold Bitcoin for the long term. So let me just explain to you what it is that I'm going to share with you. You see, in a previous video, what I said to you was that if Bitcoin takes out and closes below this support level, so here's our support level, and here's why. This is the February low, and this is the April low. And as you may remember, in a previous video, I said to you that if Bitcoin falls below this major and important support level, this February, April low, which is about 6,500 to 6,000 level, okay? If we fall below that level, that essentially would be terrible for Bitcoin because that is breaking market structure and could lead to significantly lower levels. In other words, significant sell-off in Bitcoin. Now, having said that, I want to show you in this video why there is an exception to that rule. Let me explain. You see, yesterday I was looking at the chart of Bitcoin from 2013 to 2014. And here's something important we can learn from Bitcoin's behavior from a few years ago. You see, back in 2013, which I'm sure many of you remember, in that year, especially in November, from about October to December of 2013, as you may recall, Bitcoin did something very similar to what it did last year, which is it went up nearly 1,000%. Bitcoin skyrocketed from about $150 in October, November of 2013, and it went up all the way to just above $1,100. So again, about 1,000% move. Now, you'll notice what happened next is very similar to what happened in December of last year, in 2017. You see, in December of 2013, Bitcoin had a very sudden drop, or crash, you want to call it that, then a rally, and then another drop, okay? And it continued to do this until it finally made this bottom in December of that year, okay, around about the 400 level mark, okay, and then it staged a very strong rally. Now, I want to just mark that level there for you. Let me just, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab a line and I'm going to place a horizontal line right about that bottom there, okay? All right, so there's our low from December of 2013. And then after that rally, which failed, okay, notice it came back. Now, it did have an intermediate drop below that level, and then it went up again. But notice what happened next. In February of 2014, it came back and retested that level. There it is. And notice it held that level, all right? So in other words, about a few years ago, Bitcoin made a low or a bottom back in December of 2013, and then it retested that level in February of 2014, forming a sort of double bottom pattern. Now look what happened next. About a few months later, in April of that year, look what it did. It broke below that significant level. That's, in other words, it's breaking market structure here. But notice what happened next. It quickly recovered and went back above it again. Now, is that significant? Yes. And I'm going to show you why it's significant. You see, guys, in technical analysis or chart analysis, that is what's called a false breakout. And a false breakout is one of the most important and most significant chart patterns you'll ever see in the markets. And they happen more often than you might think. Remember, guys, a false breakout of a support level is by far one of the most important and most powerful buy signals you'll find in chart analysis. In fact, let me show you exactly what happened after that false breakout. Okay, so let's take a look at what happened next. So just to put it into context, there's our 2013 low, the 2014 low, draw a line across it. Okay, like so. And look what happened here. You see, there it is. That's the false breakout. And essentially, the market here is, what we're seeing here is a break of market structure. Now, it is true that breaking market structure is a terrible thing for that market, because essentially you're breaking key support levels, which leads to significant sell-offs. However, there is an exception to that rule. The exception to that rule is when you see a false breakout. And what you see here is a pure and perfect example of a false breakout. Because what is happening here, and actually, by the way, guys, a lot of this is happening due to algorithmic and bot activity. And guys, it is important for you to remember that a lot of market activity today is not done necessarily by actual investors and traders, by human beings, but they're done by algorithms and bots designed and created by institutions and big market players. And I personally think this is a pure example of it. Because what these algorithms and these bots do, they deliberately push the price down below this key support level. And that is done why? It's done to manipulate a lot of the traders out there. In fact, most textbooks, the classic textbook on chart analysis says to you that that's actually a sell signal. And these institutions have read the same textbooks that you've probably read. So they know that's what you're thinking, that when the price falls below the key support level or breaking market structure, they know that what you're probably thinking is, okay, you know what, that is a sell signal. And that of course, drives a lot of people to start shorting that market. All right. Unfortunately, what happens next is, look what happens next. The price quickly recovers and goes back above the key support level. That, guys, is a very powerful buy signal. A false breakout, which is exactly what that is. This is how you know it's a false breakout. When price falls below the key support level, right there, and then quickly recovers and goes back above it. All right. That is how you know it's a false breakout. That is how you know it's a buy signal, because you're back above the support level. And look what happened immediately afterwards. Well, immediately afterwards, we had a rally, a pullback, and then a continuation of that rally. So what does that mean now? It means this. It means that if you take a look at Bitcoin chart right now, let's draw a line across the bottom here. And here we go. We're going to draw a line across that significant low. That is the February, April low, which is about the 6,500 to 6,000 level there. What it means is this. If Bitcoin were to drop below that February, April low, okay, yes, it is breaking market structure, and yes, it is bad. But remember, breaking of market structure is only bad if you stay below that level in order for that signal to be confirmed. Because if you quickly see a recovery, and if price quickly bounces back above it again, in other words, if price breaks the February, April lows about 6,500, and if we quickly go back above it again, like we just saw back on Bitcoin a few years ago, that is actually a false breakout. what that shows to you is that a lot of these bots and algorithms have deliberately pushed price below the February lows, and that counts as a buy signal. All right, this is done deliberately, guys. It's done deliberately to manipulate investors and traders on Bitcoin. And that's often when you see these news headlines out there saying, oh, you know what, Bitcoin has just broken below the February lows. So be careful of that. And remember, guys, not every breakout has to be a false breakout. You need to wait and actually see if it is a false breakout or not. So all I'm saying is keep an eye on that if it happens. If it does happen, if you see a false breakout, if you see Bitcoin falling below the February lows and then quickly recovering, going back above it again, that actually initiates a buy signal, and you might actually see a rally forming, a rally that actually could lead to retesting the previous highs on Bitcoin. And guys, if you found this video to be useful and informative, please give it a thumbs up, and also please remember to subscribe to our videos for future updates. Thank you very much indeed.